The unprovoked, unjustified attack by Israel and the United States on Iran ranks right up in there in history with the attack by the Nazis on Poland in 1939, September 1st. This is a watershed moment in history, and it's unfortunate that the United States and Israel have proven themselves to be lawless, reckless countries.
That was ex-CIA intelligence officer Larry Johnson. And what's unfolding right now, folks, is nothing short of the Zionists' plan for global war and greater Israel. And we're going to get this all on the historical record today, Saturday, February 28th, 2026. If you're getting to that age where you're tired all the time, bloated after every meal, and no amount of water seems to help, listen up. My friend Dr. Josh says those are all telltale signs of a dehydrated liver. Your liver is your body's main hydration organ. If your liver cells aren't getting water at the cellular level, it doesn't matter how many glasses of water you drink, the water just runs right through you. And when your liver is dehydrated, everything suffers. Your energy tanks, digestion slows, you bloat, you hold on to stubborn weight, your skin looks dull, and you feel older than you are. Plain water can't fix this on its own, and most electrolyte drinks are garbage. That's why Dr. Josh created a daily hydration drink called LTV. LTV combines clinical dose marine electrolytes with taurine to help your cells actually hold on to water, plus milk thistle and dandelion root to support your liver's natural detox function. This stuff is powerful, and you're going to be amazed at how much better you feel in a very short period of time. So, if you're ready to hydrate your liver at the cellular level and finally feel the difference in energy, digestion, and your waistline, just go to drinkltv.com/SGT. And by the way, it's your lucky day because Dr. Josh is running a special offer where you can get up to 64% off LTV for a limited time. But this deal is only available through my link, which is right below this video. Do yourself a favor and go click it and give your liver the hydration it's been missing. As I clearly stated in my Friday, February 27th interview with Jeff Berwick, I did not vote for this. It just seems like we live in such a broken paradigm as this nation appears ready to start bombing Iran, a peaceful country that has never attacked us, Jeff. And I didn't vote for this. I want to be very clear. I did not vote for the death and murder that's about to take place in Iran.
Yeah, you never really do vote for most things. As you know, you get kind of fooled. They say all kinds of stuff. Remember when Donald Trump said he was going to bring all the troops home? Remember when he said he was going to end all the wars? He was going to end the Russia-Ukraine war in the first 24 hours. He was not going to give any foreign aid anymore, but he's continued on with the Ukraine and Israel, of course. He was going to balance the budget, pay off the debt, go on and on and on and on and on.
And now Iran has shut down the Straits of Hormuz as Bibi Netanyahu and Trump's latest unprovoked act of global war backfires spectacularly. Trump's Friday night announcement.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
Quote, our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating immediate threats from the Iranian regime, end quote. How about immediate threats from the Zionist regime that wants our Goy sons and daughters to go into another one of their Rothschild meat grinder wars? The reaction to Trump's midnight Friday announcement for yet more war was swift and decisive. Former InfoWars host Owen Schroyer was one of the first Americans to provide his reaction.
U.S. personnel in the region.
What a liar.
Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties.
You are sick.
That often happens in war.
Fuck
we're doing
you. Unbelievable. I'm gonna have to silence myself. But unreal betrayal. This is disgusting. I can't believe I'm hearing this.
Let that sink in, friends. The lives of courageous American heroes, Goy to the Zionists, may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in a Rothschild war. Another unprovoked war no one other than Israel and Zionists want, and an unreal betrayal from the president who promised no new wars. And most Americans were already asleep when Trump made his statement. But by Saturday morning, the damage was done with the grim reality that America had killed Iranian schoolgirls.
We have hit 2 children's schools. We have bombed 2 children's schools. 63 dead children, girls, little girls dead. Their mothers waiting for their daughters to come home. They sent their daughters to school on the belief that there wouldn't be a war because there was diplomacy going on, that there wouldn't be a war because Marco Rubio said he was traveling to the region on Monday. So they sent their girls to a school. The girls were in school and we bombed it. And we bombed another one. There's 100 girls buried under that rubble being dug out now.
And Scott Ritter is not alone in his rage. The world's reaction to this American-Israeli imperialist lawless act of war was swift. Here's Jeffrey Sachs.
This has never been about nuclear weapons. This has been about Israel's regional hegemony in the Middle East. Israel wants to topple the Iranian regime, period. It has said so. This is not a mystery. This is not my claim. This is Israeli policy repeated year in, year out. The whole idea that Trump is negotiating to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, that was negotiated. Trump ripped it up. The Iranians have come back every year to say, we don't want a nuclear weapon. We want negotiations. The United States does not accept yes for an answer because it works for the government of Israel. Why does it work for the government of Israel? It's a little hard to understand. Maybe because it's of Mike Hucklebee's parishioners, because of people who read the Bible and say, okay, that's our foreign policy. That's possible. It may be because of what's in the Epstein files that haven't been released. It may be blackmail. It may be corruption. It may be many other things, but it is not about America's interests.
What in God's name could lead us to bomb 2 girls' schools? I'm involved in this. I did this for a living. I know you don't make those mistakes.
We have no interest whatsoever in going to a war with Iran right now.
Yeah,
if there is such a war, it's a war because Israel has told the United States what to do. And that raises a question. Why has the United States done what Israel has told the United States to do for 30 years? And I don't just mean about Iran. I mean across the Middle East.
And guard your ears for this one from Shipwreck on X. The anti-Zionist, anti-war sentiment from Americans from all walks of life have begun to flood X, echoing the familiar chord, "Sheeple, wake up. They've been waging war on all of us in America for decades."
The favorite argument of the pro-bots now is, well, go to Iran and see if you feel safe. Maybe would you feel safe in Iran? Maybe you should go to Iran and see how they treat you. Why would I go to Iran? I don't live in Iran. I live in the United States of America, okay? And what is happening over there is pretty fucking awful. And if you can't admit that, then there's something seriously wrong with you. It's pretty fucking awful, but you know what it is? At least it's quick. Because I could go to Iran, I could be bombed, I could have my house bombed, I could have my kids' school bombed, I could be killed instantly. At least I won't be boiled alive like a frog here in the United States, where it takes years and years and years, but inevitably I'm going to die a very slow and painful death, because all they've done for the last 50, 60, 70, 80 years is spray shit in our air and spray shit on our foods and spray shit in our water. At least I wouldn't be poisoned to death at that point, but nobody wants to talk about that. But what about Iran citizens? What about the citizens? They're treated horribly. Look a fucking around you, Gladys. We're being treated horribly and we're doing jack shit about it, even though we campaigned on how we're gonna, accountability's coming, and they've done nothing. They poisoned an entire nation during some made up pandemic, giving them mRNA shots, which are giving them turbo cancer, and they've done nothing. They've held nobody accountable. Now they're going to stand up there and they're going to try to preach at you about how we need to get on board for war so that Israel can take over that portion of the Middle East. I live here where shit is pretty fucked up and nobody's doing anything about it, even though they spent 4 years campaigning that they would.
And yet, of course, the exact same people who have spent the last few months libeling and slandering Candace Owens.
I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil.
And Tucker Carlson, who got Mike Huckabee, the U.S. ambassador to Israel, to admit this just a week ago.
What land are you talking about? Because I just read Genesis 15, as I have many times. And that land, I think it says, from the Nile to the Euphrates, which is, once again, basically the entire Middle East. So God gave that land to his people, the Jews, or he didn't. You're saying he did. What does that mean? Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis.
Yeah.
You're saying that's the original deed.
It would be fine if they took it all.
Yes, that incredibly audacious statement. And now this war on Iran, of course, has all of these lunatics cheering. The ones who hate Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and you, Goy. That's Lil Ben Shapiro, Looney Laura Loomer, Luciferian Levin, and Zio Josh Hammer, the same Josh Hammer who lied about the pressure being put on Charlie Kirk by his Zionist donors right before he was assassinated. The same Josh Hammer, Tyler Boyer, Erica Kirk, etc., that Candace explicitly warned Charlie about. This from her latest episode on Friday, February 27th, just hours before Trump attacked Iran.
There will never be another Charlie, and I still kind of go through the emotions, and sometimes I'm like angry at him, even though he's not here. Whereas I'm just like, man, when I see him again, I'm just going to be like, you should have listened to me. I told you, all of these people. I told you that just because it's in a ball gown at Mar-a-Lago doesn't mean it's not a gangster. And so his naivety about some of the stuff frustrates me. And I know it seems ridiculous. He's not here. How do you get frustrated about that? But it's just like, man, you always woulda, coulda, shoulda. And I'm like, where would we be today if he had listened?
And friends, make no mistake, the entire world recoils against this latest U.S.-Israeli aggression. The cloak has fallen away. The agenda is clear for all to see. This is nothing but more war for the Greater Israel Project.
John, you just watched that almost 8-minute speech from the US president there. What were your main takeaways from what he had to say?
My main impression listening to that is that's Israel's agenda, that's Israel's talking points, not the United States. That same president said that he obliterated Iran's nuclear program in June, July last year. If they obliterated it then, why is it an imminent threat now? 2 weeks ago, Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, came to Washington with several points beyond the nuclear deal. One of them was ballistic missiles and one of them was Iran's proxies through the region. That's what I'm hearing there now. That speech could have been written and delivered by Benjamin Netanyahu. That is completely different from what Donald Trump's been saying. Only yesterday he said, we are negotiating. And they were all looking for a nuclear deal, but there he's talking about 1983 and this and that, and they're bloodthirsty and terror. My main impression is that this is being driven by Israel, and what we just heard was the President of the United States, in my assessment, almost saying word for word, Israel's agenda.
And finally, for all of the Zionist influencer knee-benders on X, Gunther Eagleman, Graham Allen, Han Shaughnessy, Cat Turd, Robbie Starbuck, Steven Crowder, Nathan Livingstone, Tim Pool, Insurrection Barbie, John Strand, the very unfunny Rob Schneider, Steve Deese, Brandon Tatum, and of course, Bozo Bongino, who has been screaming at his dwindling audience since slithering out of the FBI.
You didn't do shit!
Once a cuck for Israel, always a cuck for Israel.
What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel, the defense of Israel.
All these countries are actually controlled by all the same people, including the Mexican government, which is actually run by a Jewish president now. Maduro in Venezuela, he's a Sephardic Jew. I think they put these people into place and they act like there's these different countries and they cause all this chaos to bring in basically their New World Order, which is all going to be AI and technocratic control, basically like a fascism, sort of a Palantir thing. And the people who actually are doing all this actually hate all people. So they want to enslave, make sick, and kill all people on Earth.